Thanks for coming back, Rob.
Pleasure.
Dude. So what are you doing with these shorts? I got gifted these.
Yes,
These
those are
things are
yours.
sick.
Yep.
CC, Crescent
Yep,
City,
that's it. Could be from Crescent City. It's Coast Cuts.
Coast Cuts. Yeah.
But it works out perfect since we are in Crescent City.
Yeah. And you guys are going into clothing now, or
Yeah, we're gonna be expanding into clothing.
yeah? Badass, man.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Is it gonna be like kind of workout? Because these are like kind of. I would imagine for these, for me, I could sleep in these. I could lift in these. I could do. I mean, pretty much whatever. Are you guys gonna go towards athletic gear or?
We do want to do athletic gear.
Okay.
Yeah.
T-shirts, hats, sweaters.
Yep, sweaters, t-shirts, joggers, eventually even socks, hats, a little bit of everything.
Bro, it seems like at this point, since I saw you, since our interview like a year ago, I mean,
Yeah.
you've just taken all your fingers and kind of gotten it into every aspect of everything that we were talking about last time that you wanted to do. I mean,
Yeah.
you still got the barbershop going strong. You still got you're doing Brookings and Crescent City Nutrition, or just one is yours, or they're both yours? Or
So we have Brookings, and then our partners are Crescent City.
Okay.
Yep. And then we're welcoming anybody who's interested.
And Crescent City Nutrition and Brookings Nutrition are essentially, I mean, it's some place that I would go to get, for people that don't know, it's a place that I have gone and I do go to get like a pre-workout kind of drink or a post-workout kind of drink with some protein or with some sort of stimulants, whether that's tea or coffee or caffeine, or what kind of stuff do you guys offer over there?
We have clean energy. We call them our lit teas. Those are probably our most popular. And then we have the shakes, the healthy meal replacements with protein. So it makes it really easy to have a quick snack, breakfast, or whatever you want. Meal replacement is what it comes.
I think the thing that seems cool about the concept of that, it's kind of like fast food for stuff. And don't worry about talking too much in the mic, because it's as long as it's like a couple fists away from your face, it'll pick everything up. So you don't got to lean back before you just relax. Perfect. The thing that's cool about that is like it's just like a fast food restaurant kind of, right? It's like, man, I'm too lazy to cook dinner today, or I'm too lazy to make my own shake, or I don't want the same old Red Bull, or I don't want the same old Rain or Bang or whatever. And it's kind of nice to go in and you guys got like the boba balls in there. You guys got a lot of variety. You don't have to do anything, and that's kind of nice. Is it takes the thinking out of it for you, right?
It does. It's pretty easy, and then you don't get all this, you don't consume all the sugar, and then there's no crash after the teas.
Yeah,
so it's a win-win pretty much.
The thing that gets me is like I talk shit all the time on sugar, and now I'm sitting here and I'm drinking this super high sugar ginger beer, but I get so sluggish, man, and I go in and I drink, if I were to drink like a regular Monster or something like that has what 30 or 40 grams of sugar in there. And then it's got all the taurine and things like that. When I get done at the end of my workout, I mean, even sometimes partway through the workout, I'm just like zonked out. Like it's not doing for me the services as advertised. It's not giving me like that big boost of energy.
Yeah.
It kind of ends up detracting from it over the long haul, right?
Yeah.
And that's something you're saying with these lit teas and things like that, this clean energy blend that you guys do.
No crash.
No crash at all.
No crash.
So it's not something that you have to worry about coming back to bite you in the ass later if you get your morning workout and then you got stuff to do later on still in the day.
Yep.
You're not just totally dead.
Yeah. I just had one before I came, so
yeah, now you're all zoned in.
Zoned in. It helps with the focus. It really is a game changer.
What was the inspiration for you to start getting into more of the fitness and nutrition kind of stuff, whether it's the workout gear, like I said, these shorts are freaking sick, man. These are nice, high quality, and you guys are doing pre and post workout meal replacement shakes. I mean, with you've gotten yourself now into, that plus your avocado farms. Are you still doing that too?
That's still
you
going.
Got 5, 6, 7, 10, 30 different businesses now going. What was the thing that kind of drove you into the fitness aspect of it and kind of working with nutrition?
Just I would say I reached a point in my life where I realized that I was going to get older, and I wanted to be able to stay fit.
Yeah.
So I really had to get in the gym and kind of really attack it. So once you hit 30, it's all.
Yeah. No, we're the same age now.
I was about 25 when I was like, man, I have to change my lifestyle. So
I tell people all the time, it's like, hey, I'm not in my 30s. I am 30. But no, it's true, man. I mean, I see people that we went to high school with, you know, and I mean, they look like shit. No offense.
Oh, real quick, it can creep up on you.
People don't take care of themselves. You're out partying, having a good time all the time. That's cool for a while. But like when you're 18 to 25, like you said, about 25, it starts to hit you, and you're like, damn, I got what's this little deal? Exactly. What's this little spare tire? That's what happened to me.
Early into my barber career. I was just eating a lot of fast food. So and then you could tell.
Yeah.
I was a little chubby. I look at my old pictures. I'm like, oh man,
this just kind of got that little bit here, a little bit here. Yeah.
Everything was quick. It was like, all right. And just back then I was doing the walk-ins, and then we kind of switched the game plan over to appointments, and we were able to really change the way we could plan our day out.
Yeah. So was getting to a point where your knowledge and competency kind of in fitness and kind of what to eat and how it affects your body or your mental clarity as you go throughout the day, was that something that you just wanted to kind of help other people with too, you know? You wanted everyone to feel as good as you, or
exactly
what's the motivation there?
Yeah, that's the huge motivation behind it. It really helps everybody out because you can feel it in your body. If you eat fast food, you're not as motivated. You can have it every now and then, but if you do that every day, eventually you're going to be able to tell that you're not as motivated. You get tired quickly. It's just because your body is just, it can't take it.
Low quality nutrition.
Yeah. Perfectly said.
It's funny because it's not just, I mean, you know, you can be Mr. Gym guy, workout, you know, whatever, and you're going to feel the difference, obviously, if you're not eating the things that you should or not getting the nutrients you should before you go work out. But I think even just for me when I'm at work, man, even if it's just kind of sitting around or doing some paperwork and stuff like that, or just kind of mental tasks, being in here, trying to set up the podcast stuff, trial and error, even just the kind of lag from poor food and the poor performance that it'll give you in even just kind of non-physical tasks. It's crazy, man, the difference that you feel when you're actually kind of got your diet dialed in, you got your meals kind of planned out, you kind of figuring out what's going on and what you need to achieve that peak mental fitness and mental clarity, you know? Do you think that that's something, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like once you kind of got your fingers into cleaning up your own nutrition, right? I mean, because you've been pretty active and fit, and I've been seeing you gym posts and stuff and the gains for what, 4 or 5 years now, pretty consistently.
Pretty consistent.
Do you feel like that point where you kind of started cleaning up your diet, do you think that's kind of the area or the timeline where things started to switch to where you're being more active in pursuing other goals and kind of putting your fingers out there into more businesses?
Definitely, because I was getting off work and I was really tired and drained, and then I started having kids, and it got to the point where it was like I can't keep up with these with these guys. They're full of energy, so it definitely. And then after work, I was able to even go harder once I got off work. I went hard at work, and then the real growth happened once I cleaned my nutrition up, and then I started working harder on my personal other stuff. The barbering just created an opportunity to diversify.
Yeah, it's kind of like the platform that allowed you to elevate yourself to do all these other things, right?
For sure.
Do you think that the barrier to entry, whether that's the barber school or the equipment, what do you think's the biggest? Because secret or no secret now, I think most people in my life know. I'm getting ready to branch out and kind of change and do some different things, and I've kind of got my fingers in some different things too. And like I said earlier, I'd be lying if I said that you weren't a big part of inspiring that and kind of showing me, you know, what is possible, the amount of, good way to put it, the amount of things that are possible for someone our age to achieve with the right drive, determination, and the right leg up. It seems like barbering's kind of allowed you to pursue all these different things, you know, and now I'm looking at kind of doing the same thing right now. The job I currently have has allowed me to provide for our family and put my wife through school and things like that, which has been nice. But it seems like I'm at the point now where once she starts making some money and she's done with school, I can kind of step away from that and I can replace the income that I'm getting from my current job with barbering after a while, you know what I mean? And it seems more chill, man. I try to reverse engineer it, because whenever I come into the shop, you know, it's like it's you and Frankie and the boys, and it's like if you set it up right and you plan it out right, your day is kind of sweet. I mean, you're watching your favorite sports on TV, you got your music playing on the radio, you got the dudes that you like and that you've hired working with you, and you're kind of sitting around bullshitting all day while you cut some hair, and you get to talk
Yeah,
to people and hear about their day and meet people and network. I mean,
definitely, man. It's really something you can't explain, but it's really, you enjoy it. You enjoy being there, and everyone that comes in has good energy. It's just the atmosphere that everybody that's a part of it. The
yeah.
people are really what make Coast Cuts.
Well, it's funny because whenever I go in there, you know, you feel kind of at home. You know, you got people sitting in the chair, and you guys are kind of teasing, you know, the regulars and stuff a little bit, or you guys are teasing each other, and there's definitely a camaraderie and a vibe that's between you and the fellas that you guys have going on.
Well, brotherhood,
brotherhood, yeah, and it spills over, man. When you go in
we're
there,
a family. It's definitely a family environment, and that's what we really wanted to handpick who we brought in.
Yeah,
and it really has worked out perfect. And we just we approach it as a family, and sometimes in family things get ugly, you know.
Yeah, you fight.
We work on it and we get over it. I mean, sometimes we won't agree on things, and it may look ugly to other people, but literally, like the next conversation is it's all good, and then we're smiling, we're talking, and
what are you gonna do? Hold on to it for the rest of your
we
life?
let it go,
or throw away a lifetime of friendship over some, you know, BS, whatever it is.
Exactly.
It seems like you really got it dialed in, man. You guys got it figured out over there. The idea of waking up in the morning, heading in, kind of setting your own hours, putting some coffee on, you know, on the pot when you get in the shop. Like I said, you know, for me it would be, if I close my eyes and I picture it, you know, it's I get in, I put the coffee on the pot, you know, the fellas start showing up, put the fights on the TV, Sublime's on the radio, you know what I mean? Like customers start coming in, and you're seeing your regulars and things like that, and it seems like it's a good feeling, man. And it's always good to see you when you go in there, you know, because it seems like you've established a relationship with your clients and your customers that it's more than just coming in to get a haircut, you know what I mean? Definitely. It's kind of like checking in with the neighborhood boys, you know, and you catch some of the gossip and you talk a little bit of this shit.
What's new?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And it's a place that I think, especially in our community, where it is a big staple of the community. You know what I mean? There might not be old dudes in the corner playing checkers all day long, talking shit like it's Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. But at the same time, you definitely get that vibe of, hey, man, this is a place that even after I'm done getting my haircut, it's like, oh, I might sit down and hang out for a couple more minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We love when people come by just to hang out.
Hop across the street, grab a drink or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
Kind of hang out. I think that's pretty cool, man, what you've been able to do with that. When was it with the Brookings and the Crescent City Nutrition that you kind of figured, because the original owners for Brookings Nutrition and Crescent City Nutrition was Camilo and his wife?
Yeah, they owned Brookings Nutrition, and then my cousin was already in. He's the one that originally opened Crescent City. Okay. So that was his partner, their partners. I had a role in that. They were in Florida, and I helped them out picking locations and stuff. Just kind of from my experience, I was able and they were far away, so I was able to kind of help out with. And then I knew a little bit of the business. That's when Crescent came in. I told my cousin about it. I said, hey, look, there's an opportunity here. We have these nutrition shops going.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of time. Everything was timing for me for that to be perfect.
When you met them initially, it was through your cousin who would
introduce you guys? I knew Camilo. I actually met him. He had just came from Colombia.
Yeah.
And then he got his residentship approved. Is that what it is? Residentship?
Like citizenship.
Like a green card kind of
visa.
deal.
Yeah, work visa.
Yeah, it was more like to stay in the country. His mom, like, you have to wait 10 years in order to get approved. So his sister, her sister, asked for them to come to the States, and when he was little, so it was kind of like a 2-for-1 package. So I met him at the gym, at the club.
And if you've never seen this guy, he looks like freaking Superman. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's all jacked out. He looks like a cartoon character, like somebody drew him.
He really does.
Yeah.
He's disciplined. That dude is disciplined.
No, definitely.
But yeah, he had the vision. He shared the vision with me. He left to Florida to seek, and then he ended up meeting his current fiance now.
Yeah.
And then I came back over here. He kind of told me about what he had planned going, and then I kind of started moving over here. And then the opportunity came where we could purchase Brookings Nutrition. So we did, and then kind of from here, we're just looking for more partners in different cities.
That's
so
awesome.
Anybody who's interested could always reach out. They have
kind of do like a franchise type thing, or
exactly. Yeah, we bring partners in, and then we break down the business plan.
would reaching out to you be the best way to contact you about people that are interested in getting into kind of nutrition? Yep. And
yeah, you want to go through me, and then I'll bring you in, and then I would talk to. By now, I kind of just know how to talk to everybody. So now I pretty much can handle it all on my own. But I still could always reach out to some of the leaders within the organization.
Yeah, and get some more resources, human resources experience, and things like that if you needed or had any questions. Exactly. That's awesome, man. And thank you guys so much for sponsoring the Pacific Northwest Grappling Invitational, man. That was huge. It's hard to get sponsors for, we're honored. Just oh no, man, it's cool. It's been it's definitely been nice to kind of have sponsors want to come on board finally. This will be our third iteration. For people that don't know, Markel Alexander, my coach Andrew Alexander, Eddie Bravo, 10th Planet Black Belt, and myself, we put on a tournament once a year now for the last 3 years, where we have some grapplers, the biggest ones that we can get a hold of, come in and compete. And every year the sponsors, you guys came on board this year. We had my buddy Don Kennison come on with he's got a tattoo oil company that he started, and he's one of the main guys. Big shout out to Mikey from Reps. He came on and let us use his venue because it's kind of a more picturesque. Like we have the dungeon where we train over in Grants Pass, but we're kind of in a warehouse, and we get rough, man. There's holes in the walls. It's not very pretty, you know what I mean? But over here the lighting's real good. What Mikey and Brian Holmes have done, and Joey Holmes over at Reps Fitness, as far as kind of having a nice little room that's going to make a really nice kind of scene to have the matches and stuff in. I think it's going to be a cool opportunity to get some really big names in there. As far as I'm concerned, we got Tyson Miller coming on from Bellator. He's a Bellator guy. We got Renee Souza, who just had a super good showing at ADCC trials when I went out there and got my ass kicked in the first round. He's going to come on and compete. Jimmy Dolan personally cracked both my feet in the same tournament before. We got some really killer competitors that are going to come out this time around, and getting local community support, whether it's just having more high skilled opponents interested in competing, or whether it's having local businesses that are well renowned and well beloved by the community coming on board and helping us out, man. It's truly appreciated, and we're super stoked to work with you guys, especially nutrition company, grappling, athletes, sports, all kind of synergy. A lot of good synergy. This is a big deal.
I mean, for our community, I think this is a huge, this has never been done before.
Yeah.
And you're a big part of it. I want to tell you, congratulations, man. And you inspired me.
Thanks, man.
You have an amazing work ethic. Just the way you're able to stay disciplined, and
I try to.
It's been many years, and it's not like
no, it's not easy,
why
bro.
Man, this guy has it.
Yeah,
and it's nice to have a good relationship with you.
No, same, man. And like I said, I think we got some synergy going too. You know what I mean? And it's people like you that have kind of shown me that even as a young guy, it is possible to go out and take the path less traveled, build your own business. Guys like my coach Andrew, man, you want to talk about a difficult path? I've been driving over to Grants Pass for the last 3 or going on 4 years to do the grappling stuff, but he used to drive down to Hollywood, down to 10th Planet headquarters to train with Eddie, and go down there, 3, 4, however many times a year, and train for 1-2 weeks at a time, and nobody handed that guy anything either, you know what I mean? So
seeing hard work,
yeah, man, seeing people that started out. I remember coming to your spot in the trailer. I think I talked about this last time, but I remember coming to your spot in the trailer park back when we were kids, man, coming through before the party.
Yep.
Me and Arnold and Juan and the boys coming in, getting the fades on before the party, you know what I mean? Make sure that Arnold was always had to make sure everyone's lined up real good before the thing, and you were the only person that we would go to, man. So to see people go, from cutting hair, you know what I mean, in a lawn chair in the backyard, to owning their own shop and having it be the biggest, best shop in Crescent City, and owning all these other businesses now, or having a guy like Andrew, that started out as a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, running his own gym for no money, no profit, to being, number 11 black belt in the world at his weight. It's crazy to see what truly is possible with people that are not only, like you said, it's not just inspired, but they're dedicated and disciplined.
Yeah.
Because inspiration runs out sometimes, you don't always feel inspired, but having the discipline, I think, to show up every day,
exactly,
whether you want to or not, or whether you feel motivated to or not. Motivation fades, inspiration fades, but being able to develop discipline, I think, is a big key for that.
Habits. Everything's a habit.
Was that something that you always had? Was discipline something that was always real prevalent in your life, or was that something that kind of took some time and some aging for you to
definitely think at a young age I was able to kind of, I guess I just kind of remind myself what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I was able to keep myself in line because there was many distractions. I started working at a young age, and I would miss out from all the parties. I remember being a teenager, and my brother was like, "Oh, you're wasting your youth." I was like, "Man,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to buy a car, man."
Trying to get ahead of the game.
Yeah, so that was it. I was always just trying to stay disciplined and kind of just sticking to the plan. I didn't really know. I didn't have the vision exactly of what I wanted to do, but I knew that if I stayed with it, it would come.
Yeah.
And sure. It took years. It took years, and here we are now today.
Yeah.
It's still a journey. We're not where we want to be, but this is a good start.
Yeah. Shoot, man, I think about, you know, all the time, you know, people, they say, what's that big thing? Colonel Sanders didn't develop his famous chicken recipe until he was 55 or something like that, you know, or so-and-so didn't paint their first painting until they were however old. You know, I think by 30 years old, man, especially all the stuff you're doing, you know, I'm a few years behind you. I'm starting to figure out what it is I want to do. You know what I mean? I'm starting to actually kind of hone down that big plethora of things I used to love to a few things. And I'm actually starting to make some little bit of incremental progress. But I mean, you're running businesses and open new locations and doing all kinds of stuff. And it's really cool, man. And it's definitely inspiring.
Appreciate.
So for you to say that I inspire you at all is very flattering. And I truly do appreciate that.
Definitely have discipline, man. Like,
I'm trying to be, man. It's
I need some of that right there.
Yeah. You know, I think the big thing for me, I remember when I was a kid, and my pop got me weightlifting, you know, because I was a chubby little kid, you know, I was a little overweight and stuff because I was just, he would make me every day after school. He would make me go down to the gym with him from 3 o'clock till 5 or 6. So he'd pick me up from school and I'd go down to the gym, and it was whether I felt like it or not, you know. And I'm sitting there, and you're a little chubby kid or whatever, and you're like, man, the girls don't really notice me, and I don't really get any play, and then it's like, okay, well, now I'm at the gym already. My dad's gonna make me be here, whether I want to be here or not. He's already disciplined. He's already developed it from wherever, however. But now it's up to me, and you're sitting there, and if you have any brains between your ears, you know, you kind of start to think, well, I'm gonna be here anyways. I can either sit here and nothing's gonna change, or I can try to do something and maybe something will change. You know what I mean? And I think kind of being forced into that and having my hand forced on that for so long, for so many years, to just be there and then starting to see the results of what discipline can truly bring for you and the fruit that it can bear, I think was really powerful. Because, I mean, really, have you ever dedicated yourself to something and decided that you were going to do something and really pushed yourself towards it and not been successful? Has there ever been anything in your life that you've really, really tried 100% you're all for and not been successful with?
It comes. It takes time, but it comes. Everything worthwhile takes time.
I've never met anyone who stays disciplined, stays consistent, has an idea, has a plan, has goals, and that strives for those things unrelentingly, that didn't get it. You know what I mean? Unless, you know, pending some tragic accident and they pass away or something to that effect. But there's no one that keeps going and
just don't quit, right?
Doesn't make it. Yeah, man. I mean, that's really, at the end of the day,
really it really comes down to that.
People always say it's not about who's best, it's about who's left.
That's,
you know,
that's it.
Especially in people say that all the time with combat sports. You know what I mean? It's maybe you're not the best guy or the most naturally talented in the world, but it's like the one that keeps coming back even after losses, even after injuries, even after defeats. Not letting that stuff hinder you. You know what I mean? Not letting your first year of, you know, performance at the barbershop or whatever you made or didn't made, or the clientele you had or didn't have, not letting that get you down, just knowing that it's got to get better. It's got to, if I keep doing this, it's got to come. Eventually it's got to come, right? As someone that's looking now to kind of transition into lanes into your field, give me some tips. Give me some insider scoop for what I should expect during barber school. Give me some insider tips for what I should expect in my first couple years of hair clipping. What are some tips that you got for me or people like me?
I think it would be kind of this. It's almost similar just to in every industry, or almost in anything you're doing. As long as you're putting in the work, it's gonna come. So what I would recommend is some courses. Start following barbers on Instagram, or any social media platform that you like. There's all kinds of programs you can sign up to now. You could pay monthly. I even have a course that I could pass to you, and I'll make sure you get that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, thank you, man.
It's just going back, going back to the tape every time, and almost planning ahead. There's certain haircuts that are more popular, so see what's trending right now. So what we have right now, we have tapers are always good. Fades, everyone has a nice comb over with the hard part. Every now and then you'll get a faux hawk, or right now it's the mullets.
Yeah,
so you kind of just want to watch.
Mullets are coming back.
They're back. They're back. I'm telling you. And so you want to just watch tape, and see what they're doing. Build a system. And once you get that system down, everything else is kind of just adjusting a little bit. But once you have that system down, no one can take it away. And
what do you mean as far as the system? Just
like
kind of
your steps. So the way that I come at haircuts, it's either I start with like an open 3 or a 4, depending on what the haircut is, and I'll remove all the bulk, and then I'm able to see what I'm gonna do, and then from there I'll work my way up, and then I'll work my way down. But it's almost the same thing every single time. It's little adjustments here and there, but.
Do people really have different systems, or uniformly is there kind of a way that everyone kind of does the similar?
Everybody finds their own way of doing things. Some things might not work for you that I do, and you're gonna find your own way of doing it.
Okay.
So and then some things might work for you that won't work for me, and then that's just kind of how it is. So but similar, because all the barbers sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. All the barbers that where we're at. So me and Frankie, we created a system, and then we train our barbers, and we could tell who's not doing it because we know how fast you can grow.
Yeah.
Like within 6 months, working at Coast Cuts, we're able to take a barber from no skills to being able to cut on their own, and then from there they have to just keep putting in work. And every now and then we'll come over and we'll give them tips. But for the most part, as long as you're looking at the tapes and you're going back and asking questions, one of the biggest things too. Ask questions. There's no bad question when you're cutting hair.
Okay.
There really is no bad question, and that's really good at fast track. That's how you fast track. Just putting in the work, watching the videos, and then getting in the shop and applying.
So where did you go to barber school at, or how did you get your licensure for cutting hair?
I started here in Crescent City. There was a school right across Delnor Supply.
Okay. Yeah. We talked about this last time. Yeah, right across from the post offices.
Yep, right downtown.
Okay.
And then they shut that down halfway through my school.
Yeah.
And then I had to relocate. I went to Riverside where my brother was at. He said come down. There's a school in Moreno Valley, so I ended up going to Moreno Valley in California.
Okay.
And then from there, to be honest, I thought I was good when when I was up here. I thought I was good when I was up here, and then I went down there, and these students are just monsters. But it's a whole different world, you know. So it really was almost the best thing that happened to me. And then I was able to network and meet new people, and to this day I keep contact with them.
You went from kind of being big fish in a small pond to small fish in the big pond.
It really was humbling, man, and I needed it.
How much of the stuff that you learn, because as I'm looking over, you know, I'm getting ready to head over. I'm thinking about doing Fagans over here in Grants Pass, because that's where we're going to be living now, and that'll be really close. I know that I have a buddy going through the program right now, and you have to learn how to cut women's hair and stuff too for the licensure and do that kind of thing. How much of the things that you learned in barber school are you still utilizing today, or have you just grown your technique kind of beyond that base level of instruction?
Yeah, I think the most important thing, like if speaking from my experience in the school that I went to, I noticed that they mostly focus on getting you to pass the barber test.
Okay.
And then everything from there, it's on you. I'm not sure the school that you're going to, how they run their program, but
so it's kind of just designed to get you past the test. There's not a lot of practical application. Maybe
that's all on you. You have to put in the work. Yeah. But I would pick everybody's brain. Find the best student and make them your friend.
Okay.
With good intentions.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Definitely try to find somebody that has a similar goal.
Hopefully you get along with them. Hopefully they're willing to share a lot of people don't like to share. I don't know why. It's almost there in my head, there's plenty for everybody.
You're gonna steal the haircuts from them.
Yeah, you know, and that can't happen. People need haircuts.
Yeah. I think looking at it now and kind of from an outside perspective, obviously I haven't gone to barber school. I haven't ever worked in a barber shop or anything like that. But it seems like the most important thing really is your ability to cut, because without that, you can have the cool shop with all the aesthetics and all that kind of stuff, and you can have, you know, all the right accoutrements and the vibe and everything going on, the right location, the right town, the right, you know, kind of money coming in, the right clientele. But if you're giving out shitty cuts, then it's all going to be pretty short lived, right? Have you had barbers come in that were unable to educate themselves or unable to humble themselves that didn't last? Have you guys had some people
towards the
turn over?
beginning? Yeah, there was a lot of, and then even recently with our system, they just didn't have the focus, or maybe they didn't want to put in the work, because you have to put in the work. Even sometimes when you go into a barber shop,
Yeah,
that's busy, that you're gonna get clients, and you're gonna get a lot of walk-ins, and you're gonna have a chance to build your chair up. But there will be days where you're gonna be sitting on that chair, and you might just get 1 or 2 haircuts a day,
yeah,
and those mess with your head. But you have to understand that it's part of the journey, and that's putting in work itself. Just sitting there and waiting for somebody is putting in work. A lot of these younger guys that I've seen, they would come, show up, and then they would leave. Like, they wouldn't have a client, or one of their buddies would be like, "Oh, I'm going out of town," like, and they'd pull them. So distractions, it's like you have to be totally focused. You won't have a problem.
yeah.
But those are some of the small little details, that just so you understand that there will be days where it'll be a little slower for you, but just stick with it, be patient, and in no time you're gonna be just fine.
I remember you saying that you had a buddy that would kind of come down and sit with you on the slow days and kind of encourage you, and you'd look at him. And what was his name?
Mono.
Mono.
That's his nickname. Okay. His name is Eric.
Eric. Okay. I remember you said that you'd look at him and you're like, man, what's going on? Like, is this it? He's like, hey, chill, man, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Aside from having somebody, whether it's a buddy or whether it's a spouse or whether it's a father or a mother, sitting there to encourage you when times were kind of rough in the beginning, or when you were kind of uncertain about the path that you had chosen, what were some of the things that you did to kind of reassure yourself that it would be okay? You know, would you pray, or would you go drink, or would you know what I mean? What would you do to kind of assuage those fears or those uncertainties and kind of make yourself feel better? What were some of the things you did?
I tried to stay positive by staying hungry. I had 1 or 2 busy days that were usually Fridays, and at the time Saturdays, when I was working Saturdays.
Yeah.
And those days were they were good to pay all the bills, and I was able to live, you know. Still,
yeah.
I didn't have the extra money that I probably wanted at the time, but I knew that if I stayed with it, everything was gonna fall together. I really thought about, somebody was pulling me, trying to get me to go to their shop, because that would have just stopped everything. And I did have to think about it, because it was like, it messes with your head when you. But as long as I was patient, it would eventually come.
But you're kind of an exception too, right? Because you went kind of almost directly into your own spot.
Yeah, and that's pretty hard.
That's pretty rare.
It's pretty rare.
But you had so much experience beforehand, kind of cutting hair, you know, off the books and for friends and stuff like that, that you were able to kind of draw from that experience and go into that. For most barbers, right, that's not the case. Most people are like me, who've never really cut before. They go to school and then they get out and they go, oh, what do I do now? For people like that have aspirations of opening their own shop one day, what would you give? What kind of advice would you give to those people if you could kind of look back on it now and go, oh, this is kind of where I maybe didn't do make the best choice that I could have made, or maybe I could have been smarter about this? What are kind of some of the pitfalls that you navigated, but now with hindsight, you would have a plan of attack for if you had to do it all again?
Yeah, definitely. If I had to do it all over again, I would have created a blueprint. We do have a blueprint now.
Yeah.
And kind of just, if you see red flags in somebody,
like people you're hiring, or
stick to your instinct. Yes, people that you're hiring. Just if you see something, or maybe when you're interviewing them, always interview somebody and kind of see where they're at mentally.
Yeah.
And ask them questions. Just that way you build a strong team. You want people that want to be there. People that look at the at your shop like it's their shop.
Yeah, treat it like home.
They're gonna run. Yeah, they're gonna run that business like it's their business, because it really is. And that's where a lot of barbers make the mistake that they don't look at the shop like it's their shop.
Yeah.
Because that's what builds a strong foundation. That's what people will see that. So if let's, for example, if it's my shop and one of the barbers sees a piece of trash on the ground, they should want to pick it up. They shouldn't wait for me to pick it up.
Yeah.
They shouldn't wait for our assistant to pick it up. They should do it.
Because they want to, because they don't want to work in a place that looks trashy.
Exactly, because they care. And that brings more value. And that's kind of the seed that we try to plant in our barbers, and just make them get them ready to own their own shop. That's kind of, I tell them, one day you could leave here and you will own your own shop. So treat it like practice right here. This is where you get to practice to get there.
What were some of the red flags that you saw maybe as a younger barber when you first opened up your shop that you willingly or out of inexperience ignored, that you now can see like, oh man, I should have seen this guy came in and his hair was fucked up. So how was I about to hire a barber who couldn't have or what were some of the red flags that you maybe ignored or weren't savvy to in the past that you are now?
Yeah, we had a few different barbers that kind of, there were more so the red flags where they were just rude. They didn't really, there must have been something else going on there in their personal life, but they didn't know how to separate their personal life from the barbershop life. Because
it's kind of bringing their drama to work.
Exactly. So their problems, maybe they were hungover, maybe they had a fight with their family member or spouse. Yeah. And then just other little things, like just trying to get someone to learn how to apply aftershave on the neck or something. And it just, those little details make all the difference. Pulling the ear down, making sure there's no hair. Check it twice, check it 3 times.
Yeah.
Check out your client's eyebrows, and if they're long, most of the time someone's gonna want you to hit them.
Yeah.
Get it. If there's hair on the ears, nick those hairs. Those clients are gonna be, they will be loyal to you, because there's barbers that do not do that. They just don't have I don't know if they don't care or they don't have the eye for it.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of places it's not like they don't care, because you're sitting there talking to the person, obviously they're nice, and they make small talk and whatever, but in a lot of places you get done, and you get out and you kind of look a little closer at your haircut, and like you said, either they missed your eyebrows, they missed some stuff around the ear, or maybe they didn't wipe down your neck, or maybe they, but it's not like, it's almost like a kind of a thing about like how people were raised, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, have you ever gone to a restaurant and you have a waitress and the waitress is kind of a shitty waitress? Like, she doesn't really care whether or not you like her or like the food or like the restaurant. And, it's one of those things. It's like, hey, I'm here to patronize your business. Yeah. This is a little bit of a favor to you, So, I mean, act like you're happy to see me, or act like you're interested in providing me with a high quality of service. There's a place here in town, and I won't name names, and it's a place that you can go to kind of get some snacks and things like that, some breakfast foods and some other things, kind of a grab and go spot. Again, I won't name any names. But I would go in there in the mornings. Name them. Yeah, I won't. I'm just kidding. But I would go in there in the mornings, and me and the boys at work will take turns. Hey man, you got breakfast tomorrow, or you lose a bet, or you mess up, or you do something silly, and hey, breakfast on you. Yep. So I would go down there and I would buy some of their breakfast burritos. This place has breakfast burritos sometimes, and I go down there and I'm like, hey, can I get 6 of your breakfast burritos? And the person making them, this gal's, oh my god, you want 6? And it's like. Yeah, that'd be great. I would like 6, please, of your product. I would like to pay you and give you my money now. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I only have 8. And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry that you're doing so well in business. Maybe you should make more in the future, Yeah. But it's the same kind of thing where people are willing to overlook those kind of subtleties in the interaction, whether it's, like you said, wiping down kind of the loose hairs, and I really truly feel like it's not a matter that people don't care, but it's almost like something about how they were raised or their thought process isn't the same as people like me and you that can kind of realize when somebody's, maybe uncomfortable, and you kind of make a little joke and put them at ease.
It's just rude, huh? Or something, huh?
Yeah, it's just, it's like a little bit of it's a little bit of some sort of social inadequacy that they're not able to overcome, or some sort of awkwardness in their interactions where they can't either see the things that you need or see the things that make the difference in that interaction. Just the little things, you know, topping off the glass of water or the cup of coffee, or like you said, hey man, you want me to hit your eyebrows, or
the little details.
Yeah, the little details. And I don't know what it is that separates people that can see the little details from the people that can't. But I'll tell you what, it seems like in every aspect of business, whether you're the waitress or whether you're the cook or whether you're the owner of the restaurant, those things do make a difference. And I think people overlook them a lot of the times. I think
they really do make a difference. Those things are going to make you or break you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of the times people will do business with you because they like you.
Yeah.
But if you're doing that, they notice. People do notice.
It's not always enough, right?
Yeah.
Having somebody just like your personality is not always enough to get them to return and give you their money. I mean, if you want, you know, if someone's making, you know, what's minimum wage now, $15 an hour, you're asking somebody for $30 of their money. You're asking someone for 2 hours of their time.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you remember that last 2 hours at work where you're sitting there looking at your watch going, God, is this ever going to end? Trade me that time that you spent there for whatever it is I'm going to give you, whether that's a plate of food or a haircut or whatever the case may be. And if you're not providing that service with the highest quality of excellence, it's kind of one of those things where you're going to make it a hard sell. You know, if you come in and you're kind of in a bad mood and you're giving me a kind of subpar product, and then you're asking for, you know, a sizable amount of my money or my time, however you want to look at that, we're probably going to have a negative interaction between each other.
Yeah.
Because you're asking me for something that I don't want to give you, and then I'm asking you for something that you're not able to give me. And it's gonna put some stress on the business relationship that you try to form with somebody. In Crescent City, man, it seems like you've got kind of the prime location. I mean, you're right in the middle of town. People from the north side of town can come see you. People from the south side of town can come see you. People from up in Brookings that just want to get a good cut can come down and see you. You know what I mean? Do you think that location has a big thing to do with where to establish not just a barbershop, but any business? How important of an aspect do you think location is in that?
I think depending on the business, and it would just take a little longer to build, but once you build, you'll be good. So I think as far as a barber, they will come and find you if you got what they want.
Yeah,
you bring value to them, they're gonna come find you.
Kind of like if you build it, they will come. Kind of do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you could be in a lot of the times, like some barbers are just private where you can't even find them on Google.
Yeah.
But they have an established clientele.
And they don't really need to do a lot of advertising.
Yeah, they don't do a lot of their advertising is either the word of mouth, or they might reach out to a certain targeted clientele.
So when you were talking about that earlier, you said that phrase earlier, targeted clientele.
Yeah.
What do you feel like your target audience is or demographic for people? You think you're kind of more geared towards young people? I mean, it seems like your spot's kind of like a cool hip spot where like people between 15 and 40 can come in and get clipped up, people that kind of really care about getting a nicer haircut. Yeah. Whereas it seems like
we have a little bit of everything. Yeah. There is parents that are really particular how they want their kids cut, so they come to us, and then we're pretty good with kids. We're super patient. We won't be mean to the kid. We really established a good and it rubs off, and you can't get mad. Like, you have to be patient. You have to have patience when you have a kid in your chair. A lot of the times they're moving and swerving, and eventually they will learn as they keep coming back. We show our clients how to make it easier on us. Yeah, it's because we're in it for the long run. It's a thing where if our client is slouched, we'll politely ask them to come sit up or and then it takes a toll on your body if you're just chasing somebody on the chair because you're awkwardly standing.
Yeah.
So you have that's one of the most important things that I think doesn't get talked about enough. Posture from your client to the way the barber is standing.
So because their posture, like you said, that ultimately affect your posture.
If you have somebody leaning forward, now you're leaning forward. If someone's leaning sideways, now you're like, either you have to be good at adjusting to how your client is without ruining your posture.
Yeah.
And just kind of coming at him with an intention to to take care of your body.
Otherwise, you're gonna be as doubled over as they are in the chair.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And then as far as like the age groups, we go. Sometimes they bring our babies to us.
Yeah.
And then we'll cut them up, and then that's really the best time to take your kids to a shop when probably months.
When they're really young, just kind of get them used to it.
Yeah, some people do believe like, oh, you shouldn't cut their kids' hair. You shouldn't cut your kids' hair if they're under a year old. They just believe some kind of
different stuff like that.
Yeah, they believe. Then we have old people, like older people.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have a client who's 80.
Okay.
80, and then we used to have one that was like 97. I haven't seen him in a while, so I don't know what happened to him.
Do you feel like, mainly though, when you had the idea for your barbershop in your mind, when you kind of pictured the way that you wanted it, did you feel like you were trying to target a specific group of like an age group or a specific demographic of people? Or when you had your spot, what kind of vibe did you see in your mind? I mean, did you see it kind of like it is now, where you guys got the soccer games on, you got the basketball games on, you got the sports gear for sale up in the front, you've always had like the hats and stuff like that, and like Lakers gear and stuff in there? Did you have that vision beforehand, or is that something that just kind of developed naturally from your personality and the other guys in the shop?
I think we started attracting people.
Okay.
Just the what goes on within the walls of the barbershop. I think people are attracted to it.
Yeah, yeah.
We talk a lot about self growth. We talk a lot about finance.
Yeah.
Trying to learn and trying to teach, and some people just don't know enough about how to reach financial freedom. Or I guess most of us would wish we all had financial freedom.
Yeah.
It's a process. It takes time, but there's definitely ways. Like one way, if you look into the stock market, you can just buy super safe companies that pay you dividends.
Yeah, kind of like S&P 500.
That's like a great one. S&P 500. Like there's some other ones that will just pay you great dividends, and it just depends. I don't want to say too much because I don't want someone to.
Yeah. This is not sanctioned financial advice.
I'm not a financial advisor.
There's the disclaimer. We're good now.
Yeah, but you could like there's like AT&T's on sale right now, and they pay a good dividend. We have other companies like ExxonMobil. I mean, they just went up about $30 with the gas prices going up. They pay a good dividend.
So you feel like, because of the fact that you and the people around you have all kind of strived together for this next level in financial independence and competency, or just self-improvement in general, you've kind of created that atmosphere that's going to draw other like-minded individuals. So,
man. And then just talking about it, like people that we never even expected, they share their information with us. Like there's a lot of people that actually are involved in some pretty interesting stuff here in our community.
Yeah, there are, man.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, how do you know this?
There's people all around. I was driving around in Grants Pass the other day, and and I love people here, and I love people in this community. But I think that some people have known me so well over the years that when I go to ask them to either come on the podcast, or I ask them, about sponsoring, our grappling event, or when I ask them about, basically anything, or you're trying to, there's so much hate, I think, around for a lot of people, because it seems like because they weren't able to achieve the things that they set out to, that they're like, well, if I didn't do it, then you can't do it because I'm the smartest guy I know and you're not me. So obviously,
yes, there is.
But I remember I was driving through Grants Pass the other day, and I saw a gal, and she had her garage door open, and she looked like an older gal, probably in her 50s or her 60s. And she had a big oil canvas out there, and she's painting, and it's a beautiful sunny day, and the sun's shining through, and you see she's got like a drink there, and she's painting, and it's a super elaborate painting. But I was just like, how cool will it be when I get over here and I could just stop, hey, how's it going there? And hey, would you like to come on a podcast and talk about painting? Or, because it was really cool. It was good. It was like it looked like a cherry blossom tree when the wind was kind of going through it. And like I slowed down when I drove through that neighborhood, and I looked at her painting this giant painting. Yeah, it caught my attention. I mean, she's obviously really good and really skilled. And obviously at 60 years old, she's either still doing it or she's become super proficient in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Usually that's not how it goes though, right? But to be able to just kind of reach out and network with other people that have that drive, or that have the drive to do something that's kind of classified as a non-traditional pursuit, or people that do want to end up being their own boss, or people that do want financial freedom, or people that do want freedom. I mean, because you're at the point now where you can kind of make your own schedule, right? I mean, you're
So nice.
yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah, you literally could set up appointments, or you could just open your booking app to whatever times you want to take.
Do you think that's the
Like that.
biggest perk of the way that you do business now and the lifestyle that you've created is freedom of time, or is it financial? What to you and your
I
personal
would say
opinion
for
is?
now it's freedom of time, being able to create my own time.
Yeah,
So if there is something that I see an opportunity in, I can close my schedule out and I can go see if we can make something happen.
yeah.
And
Pursue other avenues.
yeah, like you literally could, or you could reschedule somebody if something comes up quick. You just got to tell them it.
What do you think now, as opposed to when you started out? When you had the initial idea to start your own barbershop, go into business for yourself, kind of be your own boss, did it work out the way that you thought it would? Is it still as nice not having to take lip off of some manager or some supervisor or some business owner that doesn't have the perspective that you do on the business? Is that still something that you really enjoy or that you think about very often? The just how nice it is to be kind of the top of the food chain in your own business, not have anyone breathing down your neck, or is it kind of stressful having all the weight and all the responsibility on yourself?
A good question. It is nice though. It does come with accountabilities, and it does come with you have to be you're held accountable since you are
The guy.
the one of the leaders of the shop, if
Yeah.
not the leader. And then so there is some things, but you learn as long as you learn how to adapt,
Yeah.
and just it really just becomes just like walking second nature.
Yeah.
It gets easier. At first I did struggle a little bit as the team grew, as there was more demand, but as I just adapted, and now at this point it's on autopilot, just because being able to train the people around that are around coast cuts,
Yeah.
they can pretty much hold the floor down
When
without
you're
me being
gone.
there.
So if you go
Yeah,
on vacation, it's not something that you're stressing over the whole time.
exactly.
You're
Yeah.
like Frankie and the boys got it all dialed in.
Yep.
You know
Yep.
what's going on.
Well, yeah, there's one our newest guy. He's still learning, like, because he's young. He's
Yeah.
20 years old, so he's still learning how to more like the people, kind of learning how to talk to people, and
Yeah.
but he's picking up quick, and we get on him. So
Yeah. What's his deal? He just kind of this lack of experience, life experience.
yeah, he's just young. He's a hard worker, and just kind of just knowing how to set up appointments, kind of how to. But he's learning. He's learning quick. At first, he was kind of struggling with it, kind of tripping and over his own words a little bit, not really knowing what to say. But now I believe he's got it figured out.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be hard to,
Always learning though, you know.
I think about, the people that work out where I work or at any job, I guess. I was so fortunate to be able to, when I was really young, to leave and kind of live. I lived in Panama City Beach, Florida. I lived down in San Diego. I lived up in Eugene. I worked in different jobs. I learned how to interact with different people from different backgrounds, and you kind of learn what professionalism looks like to you,
Yeah.
or what kind of professionalism you want to have, or what kind of business person you want to be, whether that's, you're a barista at a coffee shop or you're managing a production kitchen, whatever kind of job you have. But it's got to be hard to go, from maybe somebody that's stayed in the same town their whole life, has never really gotten out and gotten to see things or travel or take vacations or do any of that. And then now you're jumping into a job where your responsibility level goes up, your level of personal accountability for your product or your goods goes up.
Yeah.
And then also too, the diversity of individuals that you're going to deal with, from different backgrounds. Like you might know how to talk to this one certain type of person, this one certain type of personality, but maybe when someone gives you flack, you start to fold, or you know what I
It
mean?
reminds me when he came from Sacramento,
Okay.
and he talked a lot of slang, younger guy, and everything
yeah.
was like, and sometimes some people just wouldn't understand him, especially the older folks. They'd be like, "Can you explain what you're saying?"
He's like, I'm gonna give you a haircut tight as hell. And they're like, tight is hell tight? I don't understand. Yeah.
He has so much slang, and now that was one of the things, like you just said, professionalism.
Yeah.
You have to know who your audience is, who your clients are,
Yeah.
who your people are. Just kind of know how to approach you. If it's your boy, you could talk to him however you want. It's all good. But a stranger that
you've never met before.
You never met before, and sometimes you can tell how people are, how they, by the way they dress.
Yeah, yeah,
You can talk to a little more serious, a little more.
The dude that comes in the flannel tucked into his pants with the black belt on and the New Balance shoes probably doesn't want to hear about the dope fade you're gonna give him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it. I
and
get it.
He's really direct, which is good, but sometimes people do get a little offensive when you're too direct. So you have to find a way to ease your way in.
Well, it's even harder too when you're young, right? And you're talking to older. I mean, at 20 years old, you said.
20 years old.
Everyone's older than you, so that people's egos easily get bruised or negatively affected, I think, when young people get any sort of, not even attitude with them, you know what I mean? But it seems like older people have less and less patience for any sort of problems that they might encounter while having interactions with a person that's significantly younger than them.
They got no time for that.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you better be respectful, young man, and gotta watch your P's and Q's, especially the older crowd, man.
Yeah, especially if they're, I mean, when you're uptight, you need to have a little sense of humor.
Yeah.
Thankfully, everybody that comes through our establishment is super cool. We're super thankful for that.
Levity has got to be a super important tool. I remember I was working out at work. We have a guy that works with us all the time, and you probably know him. Tosh comes in.
Yeah,
Tashawn. And I remember we had worked with him all week, and I like the guy. He's a good dude, and he's got your back in a pinch or whatever. But you kind of get where you're used to working with your regular people all week long, and then you kind of got a new person in there working with you that you're not really used to. And at the end of the day, when you leave, you're kind of like, okay, that's enough of that person that I didn't, bid into a job with or whatever. And I come down to the shop to get my cut, and you pop me in the chair, like, hey, what's up, Kellen? Whatever. And I fucking dap you up, and you get the cape on me, and you start, hey, so what are we doing today? And as soon as you spin me around, he's right there across from me, And I seen him over there, and it's just funny because I remember and he can get kind of spun out sometimes, And if you're watching this, Tasha, I love you to death, bud. It's all good. But he can get kind of spun out sometimes. But Frankie had him in the chair, right? And he's kind of giving him some flack about some nicknames and stuff that he has out there. And he was so good. Frankie was so good about getting him kind of a little bit riled up and then diffusing it down to where, he feels like it's a friend teasing him. You know what I mean? Or you feel like, and then now I'm sitting across from him, and I was kind of overseeing him for that week as like, I don't want to see this dude no more this week. Yeah. And then the levity that Frankie was able to create between himself and the customer translated over to me, and now me and you were kind of giggling and laughing, and now he's giggling and laughing, and now we're all kind of just sitting there and we're poking fun at each other. And even though it was somebody that I hadn't planned on seeing that day, even though it was somebody that obviously hasn't been a member of the community for as long, or hasn't known you and Frankie as long as I've known you guys, was able to come in and kind of get a little piece of that sense of community and kind of feel like maybe, from my perspective, watching him interact, kind of feel like, hey, man, this is kind of a place where you kind of come down and it's like a Cheers kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Like, hey, Norm, Yeah. Everybody walks in the door, people kind of know you, and you kind of feel like even if it's just for a half hour or 45 minutes while you get your cut, there's somewhere for you to be where people appreciate you being there.
For sure.
And I think that you guys have been able to do that, especially in a small town like this, has been huge for the community and for yourself, for your own success. Do you think that, looking back on it now, if you had the opportunity to go somewhere else, maybe farther away from where you were kind of born and bred at, or where you grew up at, that you would take that now? Or do you look back on it now and go, man, I sure am glad that I stayed here close to home, and I'm glad that I invested back into my community, and I'm doing all the things that I'm doing now for the place that brought me up?
Good question.
Long question.
At first, I did want to be somewhere else, but I knew we could create something special here.
Yeah.
A culture. Looking around, one of my apprentices, that the first one that I had, he opened up a barbershop in town, and he's kind of giving opportunities to people. So he's bringing in apprentices, kind of like similar to what we're doing.
Yeah.
which is good. And because it's hard to move away because if you're not financially stable, or if you don't have someone that could support you.
Yeah.
And so I really am happy that we stayed here in the community. Now they get nice haircuts, modern. We brought like a culture. I mean, there was nowhere else. When I was growing up, there was a barber, but it's almost like he only cut good when he wanted to. It wasn't consistent. So but now that's what we do, and it looks like that's what they're trying to do over there too.
Yeah.
And bringing more barbers in that are like minded, which I think is really good for the community. Everybody wins, and it brings more more things to do in the community, creates more money in the economy.
Yeah.
As far as like the barbers make, and then they're able to.
So there's no regrets at this point now.
There's no regrets, man. When I was younger, I mean,
it's all worked out pretty well for you, all things considered. Yeah.
Towards the beginning, I was kind of I wanted to be in a faster paced area, but now like everything played out perfect. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
And who knows how things would have been? I would have been probably distracted. Who knows? You know.
Yeah.
I thought being here probably helped me stay so focused.
And well, now too, looking at it from the point of, you know, a father and stuff, and you got the kids now too, having them. I mean, you know I'm thankful for having grown up out here in this area. You know what I mean? You got the river and the fresh air and the clean water. You know what I mean? It's something. The kind of slower pace of living is something that I think I took for granted when I was younger. That now I kind of look back on. I'm like, man, you know, it was nice to have those kind of things. You know, and getting ready to move over to Grants Pass, which is a similar type of community. You know, and looking at getting ready to, you know, in the next couple of years or whatever, have kids and do things like that. Don't make that face. It is something to take into consideration, you know, and something that I think about a lot, you know, whether or not, like you said, as you're kind of planning your future as much as anyone can plan their future, trying to take into consideration the things like that, like, there might be more clientele, more foot traffic, more business, but there's more distractions, higher cost of living, you know, economical factors. There's kind of things that you got to weigh out. And it's cool to see you giving back to the community now in the way that you are, in a way that serves not only you and you know, your pocketbook and your bank account, obviously, because you got all these different things going on, but also gives back to the community and kind of, like you said, provides a place where people can go to network and be positive and build positivity and share positive ideas and ideas of self-improvement, self-edification. People can improve their diet and their lifestyle. You know, you're giving them the means to do a lot of different things that are going to impact their lives, not only today and tomorrow, but, you know, the lives of their kids and the, you know, when they're bringing these kids into your shop, whether it's in Crescent City Brookings Nutrition, or whether it's in the barbershop, or whether you're getting them into some activewear that maybe encourages them to kind of go hit the gym with mom and dad or whatever. It's pretty cool to see, man. I think you have a bigger reach than even you realize, and I think you know how big of a reach you have in some aspects.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. What do you guys have? You guys have any promotions or anything going on like that? Where can somebody go to get some gear? Where can someone go to get some Close Cuts gear?
That is one of one. Yeah.
Yeah. Not for sale, baby. Not for sale.
That is one of our samples. But we are going to be launching some more stuff. Right now, we do have the hoodies out, and then eventually we'll get the windbreakers. There is some joggers that are available.
Yeah. But all right.
Those are going quick.
And you guys just have them down at the shop?
Right now they're at Coast Cuts, and okay. we will have some gear available in Brookings at Brookings Nutrition, at the nutrition shop we have over here.
When you guys were doing these, I know my coach's wife, Markel Alexander, she runs a company called Flow State Apparel, where she does like men and women's grappling gear, like rash guards and shorts and stuff like that, and some active wear. When you guys are getting samples like this, how do you go about picking out the materials or the designs or the stitching patterns and stuff like that? Is that something that you have a direct hand in, or you have partners in this business that help you with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so
in this side of the venture,
myself, Frankie, and Edgar, we're partnering up, and then we're collabing with Fog Bank. So that's Fog Bank is they made those shorts for us.
Okay.
So eventually, all the gear that we wear from there will be branded with a fog bank, even where the tag is at there. It will be branded, and the sweaters are already branded with fog banks logo, and even inside the hoodie, you could check the fog bank, and then it's got the fog bank on the sleeve.
They make nice hats too.
They got the
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Fog Bank for the collab.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's been nice.
They've been pretty easy to work with.
Yes, they make it super easy to work. They've been in the game for 7 years, so they got it down. It was really smooth. We went in there and talked to Joe and Tommy, and I met Dan the other day. They're all super cool guys.
Yeah. Is Fred still working with them too?
I believe I asked about Fred. I think Fred is out of town. I think he's in school or something. If I remember.
I used to work with him a little bit when I did behavioral stuff with IECP and things like that. He was a cool dude too. And Tommy and those guys, I've gotten to grapple with Tommy a few times and do some stuff like that. Yeah. I think he's a blue belt still, but he's been training for a long time and stuff. But they're really good too. They're like you, they're good about supporting the community and giving back, and their marketing thing's cool. They got the big, I think they still got the big Bigfoot costume that they wear around, all the parades and stuff like that. They definitely got the marketing aspect and their specific set of clientele kind of dialed in, you know what I mean? I think they're a good partner for you to collab with. I'm excited to see what else you guys put out, man. I'll definitely have to get a hold of some gear for sure.
Yeah, Joe was talking about even throwing us on their website where you can just click the little burger with the 3 lines.
Oh, nice.
And then you could just go online and order your stuff on there.
Oh, that would be sweet.
So we're gonna have our own little link on his website, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yes. Oh. Are you guys doing different colors and stuff too, and different patterns and materials?
Yeah, so we'll have different logos, we'll have scripts, we plan on getting pretty deep into it. So
okay,
this is just the beginning. So we're still like new as far as like designing and stuff, but we have some ideas.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Who's got most of the input on that? Is it you and Frankie, or is it you and all the fellas at the shop, or is it you and the wifey?
So for the most part, it's me, Frankie, and Edgar. I guess it is the other barber. He's not included because he's so new. He still has to. Yeah. If he ever wants a chance,
he's got to cut his teeth.
We could renegotiate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for now, it'll be us 3, and I do a little bit of everything. Frankie does a little bit of everything. Edgar, I think he'll probably do most of our media. Or he's pretty good with the
social media and all that stuff. Dude, that's hard, man. Doing the social media presence is like, now that I got my personal Instagram page and I got I'm one of the admins for the event coming up, the Pacific Northwest Grappling Invitational. I got I just made a new, under some advice from a friend, made a new Instagram for just the podcast where I'll have clips like from this episode and clips that you've been seeing me post lately. It's hard to keep on top of all that stuff, man. Kind of continuously creating content and putting out.
There's a lot of work behind the scenes that people don't even realize how much hours and hours.
Well, if you want to put out, even if you just want to put out a few videos every week, like that's a lot of work, man. Like she'll be, my wife will be sitting there talking to me and like, hey, motherfucker, I'm talking to you, and I kind of look, I'm like, what? I'm sorry, I'm trying to create content for this thing. So, listen, you're a 14-year-old girl. Get off your Instagram and get back into the real world.
It looks like I'm on my phone, but I'm really working.
No, it takes a lot, man. It takes a lot. And I see you guys doing that too. You're always, you got the halo light up and doing the cuts on the fellas and stuff like that and showing, the before and afters. And that's cool, man, because it kind of does give a little overview on like, hey, if you're kind of looking more close to this right now, look we did this for this guy. This could be you. We could really fix you up and make you into a whole new man. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is, man. It's nice because the social media gives everybody a fair shot.
Yeah.
So with whatever you're doing, it gives you the opportunity to grow your brand, and eventually, everybody that follows you, you could offer them some merch or something, and then you could have another revenue.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I was lucky.
Oh yeah, that's clean.
This tumbler, hopefully, we'll get I got a Pacific Skull Sessions tumbler now.
Does she make those, or she has those made?
I think that she doesn't make these directly, but she has a guy that she goes to, an artist that does, for the 10th Planet Gym.
Nice.
He does all of the rash guard designs and stuff like that. She's used, or like 90% of them. She's used the same guy for a long time, and he's an artist that I think she found on Fiverr. Nice. And then he just was really good about getting back to her really, really punctually. giving her the specifics of what she wanted and things like that. My buddy Jose Garcia actually drew up this logo for me that's on here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Markel kind of took the liberty to put the words underneath in that particular font and kind of put the redwood trees and the sunset in the background and things like that. And I thought it was kind of cool, man.
This is really nice.
I'd like to do what you guys are doing eventually.
Pacific Skull session?
Oh, yeah, baby. I'd like to do what you guys are doing eventually and get some merch and things like that out there. Hoodies or sweaters or things, or just for people that want to, you know, support you. I want some. Shit, even just for myself, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll hook you up. And now I owe you one. Now I'm indebted, man. I got these sweet workout shorts. That's on me. Hopefully these don't get stolen from me. There's some people that like to wear my clothes around the house, you know.
You have to share those, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. Or when you guys get some more stuff, I'll just have to order some more gear from y'all. That'd be pretty sweet. Rob, as always, man, it's been a pleasure having you on, man. Do you have anything else that you want to plug, or any events coming up for the shop, or any promotions, anything else that you want to plug in?
Everything seems pretty good for the most part. I do want to mention that opportunity is on the table. So whoever wants to talk some business, they could always reach out to me.
Yeah, as far as getting into a nutrition shop.
As far as getting into a nutrition shop, you could always reach out to me. And any questions, really with anything, I'm always open to whatever I can, maybe some advice I can give you, or anything. I'm willing to talk with anybody.
Definitely.
But as far as the nutrition shops, you can get a hold of me and we can talk some business. And depending on where you're at, we're not looking to do anything else local with the nutrition shops. I think we're pretty set with what we have right now. But
yeah, one for Crescent City, one for Brookings.
Yeah, any other city, any other state, any other country, we're open to getting something set up. We could talk, get a hold of me on these platforms right here.
Definitely. Rob Handles on Instagram, Coast Cuts on Instagram, at Brookings Nutrition on Instagram. Cool.
Yeah, man. But thank you.
Yeah,
for having me on.
It's always a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming down, sitting and talk to me. I'm glad we got to. The next time you come see me, man, we'll be in a new studio, new location. It's funny. I finally got all the mics and stuff set up. Got the new camera set up. Everything's the way I finally want it, and I got to break this all down and go reset it up over in Grants Pass now.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, no, it'll be cool, man.
I'm excited. I really like your setup, man.
Once again, I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.